Coke floats. Everybody loves Coke floats. Who doesn't love to eat ice cream and who doesn't like to drink soda? Today we're going to talk about the scientific principles that deal with Coke floats. So we're going to start with a regular Coke, and I'm not an advertisement for any kind of company, so don't take for granted that I'm supporting any kind of Coke product. Obviously, when you talk about Coke, there's all kinds of conversation you can have about carbonation, about the bubbles, about what those bubbles do, all sorts of scientific principles involved there. But today we're going to talk primarily about the float part of this, because a Coke float obviously has Coke, and to that we are going to add ice cream. And that's the interesting part, I think, about a Coke float. And that has to do with what happens when you put the ice cream in. Now, why didn't the ice cream sink? The ice cream is obviously heavier than the Coke. Why did it not sink? Now, when you're doing any kind of scientific experiment, always think about the method, scientific method. Observation, you watched what was happening. Hypothesis. Hypothesis, because we know about a Coke float, might have been that the ice cream would stay at the top. If you've never made a Coke float, you might not have thought about that. But you make a hypothesis. You do the experimentation, which is what you just watched, and then data analysis. Why did that work that way? What kind of information do we have? And then a conclusion about why it worked that way. So what is the scientific information behind why the Coke float works this way? The bubbles in the air in the ice cream and the fact that it is cold, and we've talked about how temperature very often will cause things to change their form. So the temperature and the bubbles that are in the ice cream provide nucleation sites around the ice cream, which cause carbonization. And that carbonization is lighter, the gas bubbles can expand, and it's lighter than the ice cream. Also, the carbonation in the Coke, those bubbles coming up, help reduce the amount of sinkage of your ice cream. So, a Coke float is an excellent science experiment, quick to do, and fun to drink.